and welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Victoria 3 as the Great Qing. Where the big problem we got right now is we may have slightly decreased our revenue a little bit too much. So we're going to have to do something to get this balanced. Probably not in the state where we want to go ahead and say smash the bankruptcy button, right? But at the same time, we do have a couple of different options. One is I could probably just slow down the expansion. Another one is I can probably drop all the subsidies for the moment. Wouldn't be the best for the railways, but let's start off by dropping all the subsidies. See if that helps to stabilize the economy a little bit. I'm going to do it on everything except for the gold fields and the gold mines. Deficit a little bit, which should help with so we can stay stable. Economic concessions. Interesting that it's popped up. I don't think we triggered the I don't think we triggered the corn lowers yet. No, we haven't. Looks like I could trigger it fairly quickly. So let's actually go ahead and trigger that. That'll be one way to rapidly improve our economy. Did I do it the wrong way? I think I did it the wrong way. Yeah, okay. There we go. So the corn laws, what we'll get is we'll get a different leader that we can try to force to become the head of the scholar officials. That is pro Laissez-Faire and pro free trade. So we can swap over that. Alright, so we just got another tech. In theory, will be good for expanding the economy. Short run, it'll be a little bit more of a complication. So we're going to get 120 fertilizer. So as an example, right, we can't swap all the farms over yet. We can swap over like 20 farms, or 120, 24 farms. So that's 7, 8, 9, 12, 14, 15, 24. I'm going to double check to see how the fertilizer looks with that. Okay, we can probably go a little bit more. I'm just going to go ahead and pull soil rich on the wheat farms. Yeah, we'll have to at some point turn around and build some fertilizer factories, but for the moment that should work. And then for this we'll need another 1,000 fertilizer to complete the transition. And it probably is worth completing the transition, so we'll build 10 fertilizer plants. Okay, 10 fertilizer plants queued up. We'll delay the rest of the construction for a bit to transition over to that. As soon as everything that isn't in the process of building as far as mines go is done. There we go. Do we have... We have an exile slot. Or, exile slot. agitator slot, so we'll be able to get the pro Laissez-Faire agitator. There's our monk conservative. An inspiration for the age. And that also spawns in the liberal movement. Which, to be fair with the liberal movement, we're mostly going to ignore. The one thing we want from the liberal movement is increases the likelihood that you spawn guys like market liberal here. Okay, another one we can invite to the power block. Got a rebel group. We can deal with that pretty easily with the plain red banner unit. Red, no freedom. Bear with it for the moment. Okay, and then we can go over to our fertilizer factories. Not the factories, the farms. I'm just going to go ahead and swap them all right now because the fertilizer factories are completing at this point. This will shoot the demand, obviously, for fertilizer to the moon. But in the long run, that will be beneficial. Okay, I'm already nationalizing or privatizing the fertilizer factories. Great train robbery. It's fine if no one's migrate ill. Military for a bit after that one. Probably not. Again, we want a growing economy and growing the construction. And initially, right now, I don't think we're going to necessarily benefit from going to a lot of wars with people. At least not wars that we can't just send a small brigade over to. Instead, we're going to probably expand a little bit by trying to have the power block integrate people. In 2 years, we'll start being able to integrate the first couple guys we got. Protectorates. Okay, so we've gone ahead and the industrialists have actually gotten decently powerful, so we'll pull them to government. We'll try to swap over to Laissez-Faire. And then let's see. Don't think the movement is yet pressuring. No, it is actually. So we can go ahead and grant you leadership. So you're now the head of the scholar officials, which significantly boosts the likelihood for Laissez-Faire to pass. I think for the moment we're going to go ahead and drop the institution back down. Don't expand the government administration right now. Thinking tech-wise after nitroglycerin. Gonna come over and do central banking, or reducing the loan interest rate and postal savings. We're just gonna move over to the society tree for a bit. Get some of the stuff that affects the economy in the society tree. I'm also hoping that once we swap over to Laissez-Faire, the private economy will hopefully be able to take up a little bit more of the construction while we try to pay down the deficit. Or pay down the debt. I assume that's in relation to the liberals clamoring for democracy. To be fair, as the Chinese, we probably could do some degree of democracy and it wouldn't be the end of the world. Just as long as the scholar officials are in whatever the winning party is. Okay, there's nitroglycerin. We are going to want explosive factories for the mines. So we'll do central banking for the interest rate. So I think it's 5 per mine. Yeah, 5 per mine. So 30, 50... 120, 210 times 5, so about 1,050-ish explosives. This is giving me the old numbers. Let me drop one for the moment. So 1,050 divided by 80, so 800 is 10. So 14. We need 14 explosive factories. Five, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay. And yeah, that's probably higher priority than the railways, so we'll delay the railways again. Yes, the grain of power. Make the aristocrats more powerful and happier. I like that. Seeing as they're the main component of our government besides the industrialists. I profit by picking a side here. That was not what I wanted. That's fine. We'll be in the war, but we won't do anything. Wishes to grant us in foreign investments rights in the country. Okay. Not what we want, but what will work. Got some production resource speed, got capitalist investment pool. Okay, so that, and did we actually, we might have gone down a level. Yeah, we officially went down a level in the law enforcement. That's why we're bureaucracy positive again. Okay, we take a month. Now we go and turn all the explosives on the mines. We should see fairly rapid expansion of explosives as the factory is higher up. Which is claiming that the Emperor must remain absolute in his authority, and the answer probably will be yes, he will probably remain absolute until we get an Emperor that is not like the scholar officials. Every once in a while we RNG into, usually it's the third generation of Chinese Emperor will be something that isn't scholar officials, and then that just shakes up the entire stability of the government. So yeah, with our market liberal guy here, we're going to get laissez-faire. We'll probably swap over to free trade, and then if we can tech quickly enough into it, and we probably won't be able to, but if we can tech quickly enough into it, we'll do commercialized agriculture as well. Another agitator. Oh, so we got a Democrat here. Yield Democrat wants voting rights and elected bureaucrats. We're not ready for either of those. Elected bureaucrats become pretty powerful once you have a lot of institutions. And democracy is useful if you want to take power away from your rich owning class, and we actually want to empower the rich owning class right now, so we moved on to the second emperor. The second emperor is apparently less popular than the first one, so we lost a bunch of authority from that. Mining accents, we can empower the industrialists a bit. Red Scare! Panic would be wholly unwarranted, or it could happen here. We'll go with it can happen here. We don't need to empower the trade unions right now, and they're so weak that just best them off is not a problem. dress goes awry. Scrap the bill and do a whole public thing about rewriting it. Make it better to pass. So I'm contemplating potentially scaling back the construction sector for a while to get the deficit to come down. So it being in the red here says that we're not generating enough revenue that pausing it by itself would get us in the green, which isn't surprising because we're, in theory, paying for the civilian stuff, or the civilian stuff is paying for itself. But we might be at the point where I at least don't want to contribute, and we'll downsize to the degree where it's just the civilian stuff going for a while. Especially once we got Laissez-Faire going. We'll see how that works. And offer them custodianship over the new bill. Hopefully don't get any more stalls. It's more likely they're not going to advance than stall, but... You know, we're going to let these railways finish up, and then as we end up with surplus construction, we're going to scale down the construction. Instead of getting more stuff up. Friends like these. Who needs enemies? Not sure exactly where this is coming from, but we'll take the option. We'll have events about suppressing the rural folk. Red enough freedom, event growth of the economy, surprise visit. Here we go. Didn't want to pay the authority cost on that decision, which is why we took the back down and raised the opinion in trade unions. Okay, we'll just take the legitimacy there. That was apparently that considered success. Suppressing them. So right now at this point we've set railways to auto-expand if they're profitable. So the only things we're building as a government is profitable railways. Yeah, Laissez-Faire, I think, should significantly increase our private investment revenue. So it's 100% government dividends reinvestment. Would also lower the real interest rate by 25%. So we look at our interest, that's 17K, so make a quarter of that disappear. And it's actually more than a quarter than that because it stacks additively with being a great power. So we can look at it. I believe it. See that it stacks additively, right? Yeah, minus 50% plus the minus 25% equals minus 75%. So it's stacking additively there. So it's bringing the 18% tax rate that we normally take down to 4.2. So we're in the green. Probably meaning we can continue to spend at the current rate if we need to. Want to. What industry? Actually, probably paper. Of all things, let's establish the paper factory. Or the factory paper 1. Yeah, just the one for the moment. And we're now in the green, and have lots more reinvestment. Because we're getting 100% instead of the reduced amount from the previous law. And, okay, we lost a little bit of income from the manor houses, but we're now getting more from the capitalist buildings. Right, so we just swung from agrarianism, which has 50% dividends reinvestment and 30% government dividends efficiency, to 100% government dividends reinvestment. So everything gets reinvested, but it's I think less of it's going to you, right? So this is 80% gets used, 30% goes to you. This is everything goes to reinvestment. Everything's on forced privatization, so I don't need to remember to go push the button every once in a while to privatize. It provides an investment pool contribution efficiency to both capitalist and shopkeeper, which is a fairly effective swing from the old capitalist one. We're just losing the efficiency, contribution efficiency on the aristocrats, farmers, clergy, which is fine. And at this point, assuming the private construction queue has the money, it will now consume 3/4 of the construction instead of half the construction. Oh, and I suppose from a law standpoint, we are going to want to get the corn laws to go away. So we should go start enacting free trade. And Twitch chat is commenting on the fact I've got a lot of dissidents. Yeah, we're up to 100 million dissidents. It'll start to improve as if we can get back up into legitimate righteous government territory. Or just get off of corn laws. Corn laws was one of the reasons it was as high as it was. You want public schools. We'll agree to that. It's probably... That disappeared quickly. Okay, they apparently don't want public schools. They wanted public schools, but now they don't want public schools. Fine. The art of doing nothing. So I think we've, at least to the degree that we can, I think we have already maxed out our fishing. Yeah, we can get like 3 there. Oh no, we can completely. Whoops, that was not the one I needed. Completely max that out. And at least until we get commercialized agriculture, we probably want to run groceries over grain. Okay, I think for the moment we'll see how that goes. We want to slowly drive down the debt. The debt is a little high. At the same time, we don't want the investment pool to pile up. So that's going to be the balancing act going forward. More interest down, more minting up. So postal savings here is some contribution efficiency. So this is basically more free money. It will be ahead of time if I do it. I may push for mutual funds. I'll have to look at how bad the ahead of time penalty is going to be. Oh, and we have an available mandate we should spend. It's a good thing we're not liberal enough to have a reactionary political movement. Bit of imperialism might be good for the YouTube channel. Yeah, that's probably something we should be looking towards doing. Reminds me, when you bring up imperialism, excuse me, it's time to expand the empire a little bit through the magic of pressing a couple of buttons and gaining some subjects. Okay, so we just gained 3 subjects. Who is vulnerable to swaying? Dynam, maybe? And Magundo over here. Where do I have all my diplomatic power tied up? Yeah, probably actually time just to go grab some rivalries, so we can have diplo power and do some diplomacy. And Twitch chat's trying to convince me that I need to invade Russia. It's maybe not as wrong as it has been in the past, but yeah, as the budget starts to come down, we'll start to be contemplating more aggressive things. I'm less interested in going into Russia than I am going into tropical regions and getting rubber, or the rubber tool swap, and or going into Persia for the Persian oil. I suppose once I got the Persian oil, then it's into southern Russia for the Russian oil. Where was? Oh, I was trying to do. I need some rivals. Diplomatic actions, rivals. Whom to rival? Well, we'll start with Russia. And I think we'll add Great Britain. Okay, and with that, we now have a bunch of political power that we can spend on things like swaying some of these miners over here into our sphere. Who can we... Not in this menu? There, it is. Request power block embassy. It's already established. Okay, that's fair. We need above poor there. Bhutan. Bhutan probably brought around, okay. So I'm looking at places that are around 200 advantage, leverage advantage, because I can probably bring those in with some diplomatic pacts, and basically get free territory that way. So yeah, I think it's those 3 that we're going to be focusing on. Let's look at Mongwando. Uguindando. I'm going to stop trying to pronounce that because I'm not doing it right. So we get some more leverage. by forming a defensive pact with them, so it'd be 250 more leverage, which would get them just up to about 200, so that should be enough to get them to join the Empire. Once we get you out of poor, you can probably join. Once we get you out of disinterested and neutral, you can probably join. Oh, and I gotta remember we have an independent Philippines down here. We're gonna get Munduendo, and if we get them a puppet, we can take over the rest of the Philippines, using them as a staging ground. Yeah. Take the bureaucracy hit for the moment. Okay, the next thing I should probably queue up is a whole bunch of lumber. Expand the logging camp industry. Oh, we have plenty of peasants in Northern Manchuria. Tuva, I think, has a peasant shortage. Oh no, it's got decent peasants. Alright, a lot out here. We're probably making it a bit short, but that'll be fine. Yes, Twitch chat is very much trying to encourage me to be very aggressive with our very backwards army and navy. Granted, actually expanding the army and navy, if we can get the armed forces both happy and powerful again, wouldn't be the end of the world because of the newly created army modifier. Undeserved blame placed on... whoops. Sound limit decrease for them. Nah. Looking to hope I could get a better sway in, but yeah, the other side's bound to lose, so it's not anything we can get off of them early. Free trade. Let's pass the adoption phase. I think when we actually pass free trade, we're going to lose a little bit of revenue from our tariffs. We got about 13k in tariffs. A little bit disappointing that we're back in the red again. Though, we probably are at the point where we can set up some more trades. Yeah. So our highest expense is probably still paper. Yeah. Is there any profitable paper routes that we can set up? Import routes. Nope. Okay, so can't do paper. Shoot, 26 on small arms. That's not that bad. Construction goods. Iron? Yeah, we could probably set up an import route for the iron. Oh, no, that's actually about 0. Probably, yeah, probably won't be importable, but it might be worth setting a route up for. Nope, we got some people that will sell some iron, so we can buy some Swedish iron, some Russian iron. And is there anyone with a grain? French. Sure, we can buy French grain. We'll revisit that once free trade passes, because that's going to drop the, well, raise the profitability for all the routes by making it so that we're not able to collect anything in taxes. There we go, there's our free trade, which ends the corn laws. Let the grain trade begin. 10% more loyalty, it's the laborers and peasants. So we're up to 1 million loyalists, and that reduced the radicals by 40 million. 40 million fewer radicals. Because if you make a radical loyalist, the 2 effects cancel out. So that's why the loyalist level didn't really rise very high, because most of the economy is peasants, so 10% of the peasants becoming loyalists should be like 8 million loyalists, but 7 million of those loyalists were radical to start with, so those 2 effects neutralize each other. Okay. Dynam, you're vulnerable to being leveraged, but at the same time, you are very unhappy with us. So we're probably going to give up trying to manipulate you. Almost there on them. So I think in the interest of protecting some of our neighbors from some of our neighbors, it's time to start some wars. So we do this, Mexico may come involved, and Kutai may come involved. Somewhat surprised at that. Kutai may come involved, because they're the subject to be on the side. I suspect that's because they'll be trying to request that they side with them. But okay, so let's start this shindig. We're gonna go make another protectorate. Another protectorate. We're gonna basically drag them into our market. Mexico size of Denam. Well, I don't think that's going to help Denam, really. Give some war reparations. I don't like that you have slaves. Ban your slave trade. And then we'll add as primary, make the war reparations. If America's in here, I'd probably try to sway America in for stuff against Mexico. It's an option, but they're not. And now I'm back down. Wait until infantry drops a little bit, until it gets down to like 3, and then we'll make Protectorate on Siam as well. If we need more territory, I could go annexing some of our existing subjects, but I'm actually going to piss off the ones we just made protectorates. Good to see that Tonkin has discovered rubber. Oh, I don't see anything that we can pass to make the rule folk happier. So the rule folk are just going to have a bad day. They'll calm down over time. And then to stabilize the government, because I think we've passed everything we want from the industrialists for the moment. So yeah, the only thing I'd be interested in is commercialized agriculture, which we don't have the tech for. Oh, supposedly they do support the transition to public schools. Sure. We want some schooling. Don't want the best schooling in the world, but we want some schooling. So we can improve the tech rate. Yep, the GDP is slowly growing. When looking at the time, we should go ahead and put a part break in. So if you're watching on YouTube, I hope you have been enjoying. Probably... we'll see. The next episode might end up becoming a blooper if I record another one, but if you're watching YouTube, I'll try to record one more part today. So there may be a part up tomorrow. If there isn't, there'll be another blooper episode up in the bloopers when we're done with the series. So until the next part, wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part, and bye for now.